Y'all, I had to clutch my visible pearls. My visible pearls. Because, honey, it was way too much going on season 2, episode 9 of P-Valley, entitled Snow. Y'all see all this? Y'all see all that? Notes. Daggum notes that I had to take. So we don't want to make this long, but I can't tell you this is going to be less than 15 minutes like I like for them to be. But good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. We're going to continue to go on. Baby, this is we got one more episode of P-Valley, which will be the season 2 finale. And I wonder what's going to happen then. Because, honey, P-Valley has taken us on a ride that I was not ready for. All right, let's get into it. So the show opens up with Andre and his campaign. Now, he's using the strippers. There was a campaign in this last election where somebody did a, it was a mayor's election. I think it was the mayor's election in Atlanta where they used the strippers to come out for a campaign ad. So I think they probably pulled that from there. And so, he does his whole little spiel with the strippers and everything like that. They were talking about his campaign and everything like that. So it was all right. So the day of the voting, Andre is being interviewed by the local news. He's chopping it up, and what comes down the road? Baby, you remember last episode, Corbin had given Patrice Woodbine all this money to bow out of the race. Well, baby, honey, she didn't do that. Honey, she comes down the road in the flatbed truck with a stripper pole down the middle and started doing her little routine. She was doing way too much with what little she had, baby. And the other stripper said, well, maybe that's where Mercedes get it from. But she did her little routine, and then she did her little spiel about how they should vote for her, da-da-da-da-da-da, because people were in line and everything to vote. And she comes down, tells them how they should be voting for her. Needless to say, she takes the little money guns, the little guns that has the money, and she takes all of Corbin's money and flies it out to the people of Chucalissa. Now, I don't know if that's legal or not. Can she be bribing folks for votes? Because wouldn't that be considered bribing if the folks pick up the money and then vote for her? But baby, ooh, child, we get to Miss Ernestine in the hospital. And see, we've been worried about Miss Ernestine. We don't know what's going on with her. But we've been worried about her. She's still in a delusional state. She's at the hospital. The nurse is trying to get her to drink some water. Honey, Miss Ernestine, all she hears is, because the nurse says, Mama, come on and drink some water. Come on and drink some water. Well, she says that, but Miss Ernestine is in such a delusional state, she thinks it's her daughter. And she starts being combative and starts fighting and ends up taking off the woman's PPE gear off and everything like that. So she don't want no water. She don't want to, she fighting the water. Because you remember a couple episodes ago, Miss Ernestine's, last episode, Beulah told Clifford to not fight the water. And so she kept saying something about the water. I can't tell you all the stuff she said, but baby, she was fighting them nurses. Baby, back at the house, Uncle Clifford and Lil Murder in there getting his back blown out. That was a clutch your pearl moment. That was just a clutch your pearl moment. So apparently Lil Murder done fixed Uncle Clifford some breakfast, child, and he gonna ask wait a minute. Uncle Clifford gonna ask him how you fix your grits. He talking about with a little butter and sugar. Gross! Grits are supposed to be savory. Get y'all some cream of wheat. I think y'all sugar grit people need to eat y'all some cream of wheat. Because cream of wheat's supposed to have a little sugar, a little butter, and possibly a little milk in there, just depending on how creamy you want it. Get y'all some cream of wheat. That's just a me thing. I'm sorry. They just got on The phone rings. Well, that's what gets them out of Clifford getting his back blown, because the phone rings and he thinks it's something about Miss Ernestine, but it's some kind of salesman on the phone trying to sell him something, so he gets pissed off. And like I said, Murder fixes him breakfast. They get to basically discussing about their future and their relationship, and Uncle Clifford just basically lets him know that he had always seen this relationship as being temporary, simply because Murder has blown up. His rap career has blown up to the point that he is going on the road with Miss Tina Snow, aka Meg the Stallion. Shout out to Meg the Stallion. She looked good. And that, he is about to embark on a bigger tour than he did with Keyshawn. And so Uncle Clifford just basically lets him know that. He basically lets him know that he is very aware that he's going to go and he is going to meet him some new trade. And I think I used that word right. But anyway, he's going to meet him a new guy. And he gonna forget all Uncle Clifford. And Lil Murder is looking at him kind of funny, but he's like, I don't know. And he was like, I don't know if I want to go or anything like that. Everything's, and Uncle Cliff, Lil Murder is just like kind of lamenting, like he don't know if he want to go on tour. He's not really sure with all the stuff going on. And Uncle Clifford tells him, don't be everybody's cup of tea, because if you do that, you won't have enough for you to sip. And, Uncle Clifford is lamenting about the fact that Miss Ernestine is dying in this hospital and he can't go see her. And he was saying how sad it is for someone to die and they don't have any of their loved ones around them. And I'm just curious as to why they did not allow Uncle Clifford to come to the hospital. But either way, Uncle Clifford tells Lil Murder that he wants him to sing at the funeral, rap at the funeral, and they go get to laughing about that. It goes into Haley and Keyshawn, because those are two storylines I wish that there would be some conclusion about. But if we get to Haley and Keyshawn starts kidding Haley about where she lives, and Haley says basically, how a rich bitch keeps her money, she don't pay no rent. So she was like, I already paid for this place, so I'm gonna live in this place. So Keyshawn lets her know that she's got all her stuff prepared and she's got her tickets and she's kind of set up everything. So she has her plan in place to leave. She says her sisters are keeping the kids. She said that Derek got the job that he wanted to get. So it's just a matter of her leaving. And so she talks about that. Let me see, because I got to get these notes right, y'all. So Keyshawn, Mercedes, Whisper, and Roulette are rehearsing for the opening of the Pink. And as always, per usual, Mercedes won't rest that arm or won't rest that shoulder, and she can't hold the pose like she needs to. And she gets to falling. And so Roulette kind of tells her, look, you can't be up there if you scared of falling. And, you're getting too old for this and you need to let somebody else get up there before somebody get hurt. She said, because I'm not getting on the bottom of your old tail and then just get trampled or smushed to death because an old stripper fall on me. Old big booty stripper falls on me. And so, Mercedes gets in her feelings and she starts fussing. But Roulette is true. That's what she says is true. Mercedes can't hold these poses like she needs to, so she should let Keyshawn be on top. Well, Mercedes is in her butt because she's like, I've been the best for all of these years, and I'm not going to allow Keyshawn to upstage me. And so they get to fussing. All of them get to fussing or whatever. And then Mercedes gets mad and said all her problems come from Haley. And if it wasn't for her having to put that 7 pounds of pressure, she said it hit the wrong person. She said it hit the wrong person. And they're fussing. So Cliff hears what's going on and he kind of squashes what's being said because Mercedes is running off at the mouth. What happened in the old boom boom room stays in the old boom boom room, Mercedes. Because you keep talking and everybody's gonna get in trouble. But I got a little theory at the end of this. So you have Big Bone up there listening, and Keyshawn says something, but it's that Diamond gives Keyshawn a look and Big Bone sees it. And baby, she got some smoke for Keyshawn. She really got some smoke, Keyshawn. And she's really jealous behind this look. And I wrote down here, pick me's can be very, very dangerous. Pick me, choose me, love me. Them women can be very, very dangerous because they can mess around here and get folks killed because they allow their emotions to overtake them. Instead of her having a conversation with Diamond, she's just allowing all her emotions to get beside her. Let's see. Whisper. We got to watch out for Whisper because Whisper has the ability to see things that are going on. Because you remember last episode, she thought something bad was going to happen between her, Terrence, and Roulette. And that ended up being true. So Whisper says in the background, somebody gonna get hurt tonight. Whisper. We watching you, girl. We watching you, Whisper. Because she's made 2 premonitions so far that have come to pass. So we don't worry about that. So as they go on, again, remember I told you Mercedes stomps. Well, before Mercedes stomps out the door, Roulette argues or makes an argument. She was like, listen, we only going to be open to 50% capacity. And she says, we're going to make a certain amount on the floor. But she says, we don't get nothing at the door. And Haley says, well, our main person will get the money from the door. And so Mercedes again is up in her behind. And I don't know why Mercedes is so far up on her tail. She can't hold her poses. She can't get up there and hold the pole right. So why does she think that she deserves to be first billy? She gonna fall again. And so Haley makes the argument that Keyshawn should get it. So the girls are upset. So Keyshawn tells Haley to go ahead and split it at the door. And Haley's like, you need it. You need it. And like I said, Mercedes flips outside. Her and Uncle Clifford talk. And she's like, she's well past her prime. And, Uncle Clifford don't really have much to say. He gives one of his Uncle Clifford isms. And it doesn't work. And he just basically, you're going to have to follow a new dream then. If you don't feel like you could do this, you've got to follow a new dream. You can't just be sitting up here getting mad at everybody because you can't do what you need to do. And at that time, Mercedes gets a text from Farrah. You remember Farrah, Coach's wife? She gets a text from Farrah that she wanted her to come to Memphis. I was like, oh, Lord, what does Farrah want? Child, Big Bone is, Diamond done put that thing on Big Bone. Because Big Bone is out in the hallway looking at pictures of Diamond. She don't look up. And who does she run into? She runs into Keyshawn. And baby, they go back and forth. And, and Keyshawn's like, well, let me introduce myself. She said, I know about you. She said, these walls talk and people whisper. And Keyshawn's like, well, don't believe what you whisper. She said, well, I know this is your last day. And Keyshawn said, how do you know that? She said, because these walls are thin and they whisper. So I'm curious, is Big Bone flipping around there listening to everything? Because I'm at the end of this episode, you see Big Bone sitting on her on her, I don't know if it's a motorcycle or 3-wheeler, whatever it is, but Big Bone has the ability to fade into the background because at the end, we're going to talk about, there's going to be 2 people talking and Big Bone is over there, but she's like in the background and nobody pays attention to her. So I'm wondering, is Big Bone walking through the establishment, kind of being in the background, nobody's paying attention to her, but people are talking around her. We'll see about that. Baby, Mercedes goes to Memphis and baby, Farrah has a whole exhibit, a photo exhibit. You remember what episode was that? Was that episode 3, 4, 5 when Mercedes went up there and her and Coach and Farrah was into what they were into? And Farrah took the pictures of Mercedes on the pole. Well, baby, she's got that whole exchange on exhibit, and it looks good. And Mercedes is impressed. Now, Farrah tells her that she's divorcing Coach, and she wants to kind of continue the sexual relationship with Mercedes. And Mercedes tells her that was professional and not personal. That professional and that part of it is over. And so Farrah's a little upset, but it is what it is. It without the money and without Coach, what good? What good is it? Shoot. And my prediction was that Farrah did it anyway. And I think she did the exhibit kind of to make up for the fact that she really truly didn't want Mercedes with Coach. But I guess Coach has realized that he don't like his wife competing with his wife for coochie. Back at the Pink, Haley is what is she doing? She's talking to the lady who gives the girls who sells the girls their outfits. And she sends the lady out because she said these outfits are old up here. You can't have these outfits. These outfits are old. So she sends her to the Rainbow Child to get the girls some new outfits. The lady leaves. I can't think of what the lady's name. And then Haley goes and she throws up. And baby, she hurled. And who's around? Old Whisper. Whisper asked her, "Are you ready for them twins now?" Is Haley pregnant? Is Haley pregnant by Andre? And is she's about to have twins? Because Haley lost a baby. So it could be, well, I don't want to talk like that. But she did lose a baby. Ooh, child. Sorry, y'all have to. These are a lot of notes I got to read to try to get to y'all. The Pink, the reopening of the Pink. I don't know how many re's it was, but it's an reopening of the Pink. The health department lady is there, and honey, she's trying to make sure there's only 50% capacity. Baby, she already said they're over the 50%. So her and Uncle Clifford make the deal that if she get in for free, and that he throw in Big L. Let them open at 75%. And so it ended up, she says yes. And so Big L get the running child because that woman is looking for her. Now, meanwhile, Pico's set. Now, you remember Pico was the one little murder killed last episode. Pico's set is thick up at the Pink. Thick up at the Pink. And Pico's pregnant girlfriend is there. And, and I got an issue with that. Why is your heavily pregnant tail at the strip club? I know Pico was your boyfriend, your man, and I know you roll deep with the set. But somebody ought to have some sense to tell her to keep her pregnant tail home. Number one, we got COVID running high. Number two, you pregnant. Number three, you grieving. You really don't have no business being up there at the Pink with your pregnant self in your colors. I don't understand that. I don't understand that trying to roll so deep. I don't understand that. But anyway, Diamond tells them, listen, I see y'all deep, but y'all cause any trouble up in here, I'm putting all y'all out. And they just looking at him like, who the hell he thinks he is. So Uncle Clifford goes back to the back. He's checking on the girls, making sure everybody's ready to make this Skrilla. And who is back there coughing and hacking but damn Toy? Ooh, Uncle Clifford get pissed off. He said, you get your butt up out of here. You get your butt up out of here. And Toy acts like she don't know what's going on. Well, how's she doing? He says, you almost killed my grandmother. I didn't give her that stuff. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, because you threw it. You clutching my pearls. You spit up on the lady. You sneezed up on the health department lady. This is the problems that you got now why the Pink is in so much trouble. Then you mess around and you're sneezing and hacking around Miss Ernestine. And Miss Ernestine is sitting up in the hospital. But you walking around there just contagion, at risk and everything. So Uncle Clifford throws her out of there, baby. Meanwhile, the floss lady, that's what I'm going to call her, the lady, because last season it was a Hispanic lady that was the floss lady. This season is looks like one of Uncle Clifford's friends at the birthday party that they threw for him last season. She shows Uncle Clifford an IG a live where IG reel where Lil Murders tells them that it's going down at the Pink and him and Tina Snow are going to be performing at the Pink. Baby, Lil Murder and Tina Snow walk in like they have been making albums. You hear me? Albums. They've been making records since the 90s. Per usual, Meg Thee Stallion looks good in her diamond encrusted silver leotard little suit with her little faux white fur jacket, and Lil Murder walks in here with his little red faux fur jacket. They looked really, really good. They walk in the Pink, and then sitting on the outside is Mercedes neighbor Maine, because you remember Maine is in the same gang that Pico was in. And one of the other gang members says, well, he hadn't claimed killing Pico yet. And Maine said, just because he didn't claim it doesn't mean that he didn't do it. So they can't prove that he did or didn't do it or not, but they believe with all their heart that Lil Murder did it. And I'm wondering, was the fact that Lil Murder changed his name from Lil Murder to Big Murder, or is it the fact, is it just me? But didn't Murder have an extra tattoo? I don't remember seeing this $sign tattoo that's on the side of his face. I'm going to go back and look. But that looks like a new tattoo. But anyway. Uncle Clifford calls over Lil Murder and tells him, gets mad at him like, who you think you are trying to run my club? And he was like, man, I was just trying to get some business stuff like here for the Pink. And basically Uncle Clifford tells him, look, I don't want no repeat of murder night. Y'all get in here, y'all do whatever y'all need to do and get it. Because he said, I don't want none of that gangster stuff coming through here. And, Lil Murder's like, man, you ain't gonna never let me live this down. And Uncle Clifford was like, I just don't want none of this. This is the opening of the Pink, and I don't want no problems out of this. So, right before Tina comes out, to tell Lil Murder they need to rehearse what they're going to do. So Lil Murder was like, okay. But as they said that, again, the floss lady comes up to Uncle Clifford and tells him, hey, you got somebody in the boom boom room that requested you. And baby, Lil Murder act like somebody he was pissed. He was like, who you got requesting you? And I mean, he was upset because, he considers Uncle Clifford his dude. He was upset. But anyway, Uncle Clifford plays it off, and Tina Snow and Lil Murder go to rehearse with the girls about this show. Meanwhile, right before, as at the back door where the girls come in, here comes Roulette with her little walking montage, and you can see where she has bought some new clothes, where she has purchased a necklace with a gun on it, with a revolver gun on it and everything like that. And she walks in halfway like she owns the place. And baby, she sees Toy crying down there with Whisper trying to console Toy. And Roulette asks her what's going on. And basically Toy tells him that, Whisper tells her that Uncle Clifford has thrown her out. And Roulette's like, well, he should have, because you almost killed his grandmother. And Toy's like, well, I didn't give her that stuff. And Whisper's like, well, you actually did. You did, because you knew you was sick with that COVID. And you still came up in here like this. And so Toy starts to crying about how her rent's due and she got bills to pay and all this other stuff. And so Whisper looks up at Roulette, and Roulette gives Toy some money. And she was like, I'll pay you back. She says, oh, baby, you ain't going to pay me back. This is your payment. So basically, I think Roulette got a lot of side hustles going on out here. And I think Roulette is running a prostitution type ring. Because you remember I told y'all a couple weeks ago that Roulette is going to mess around and get the Pink shut down because of her side hustles. Or there is going to be a situation that's going to happen at the Pink because of Roulette's side hustles. So you got her prostituting. You have Roulette stealing folks' cars and getting them chopped up and stuff like that. And you have Roulette that don't mind putting a gun in somebody's mouth and clicking until the gun goes off. So you have Whisper running around here having all these premonitions going on, and then you have Roulette playing with death. It's a whole lot of. So meanwhile, in the boom boom room, we see Corbin is back. And Corbin is back with this little chest and he tells Clifford, thank you for the advice that you gave me the other day. It was good advice, yada, yada, yada. And he gives Clifford this chest. How about there's a whip in this chest? And I had forgotten that Corbin likes to get whipped like a slave. So Clifford's like, no, I'm not going to do it. He asked Clifford, how much did Haley pay for this establishment at the auction? And he says $250,000. Corbin is supposed to pay Uncle Clifford $250,000 to beat him like a slave. I'm clutching my visible pearls because I was outdone. I was like, I'm going to need Corbin to call BetterHelp or somebody. Because this is a mess. This is too much. That's a mess. There's something going on right there. But Clifford does the service, baby. A mess. Meanwhile, out front, Andre and his election campaign team are having drinks and taking shots. So Corbin makes it just before they do a little toast. And Corbin comes back and you see the blood on his back, but he's hiding most of it because he's wearing a vest. So they all take shots and Haley doesn't drink the shot. Andre sees her not drinking and she makes the excuse that she has to stay sober so she can run her club and so she can hear everyone say that Andre is the next mayor of Chucalissa. Andre makes a speech and then he introduces Murder and Tina Snow. Meanwhile, back in the back, you can tell that Big L and Duffy has come back from the way back with some stuff, doing some business they ain't got no business doing. Because you remember, Big L is holding the Oxycontin for Duffy at the pint. So they come from the back and here comes Roulette and Duffy talks to Roulette. So I guess the bust down was the money that Roulette was going to receive for them chopping the car up. She has received the money. She tells Duffy that she took the money and she bought her some jewelry and she bought her some clothes. So Duffy goes to touch her. Baby Roulette does some kind of move where she got her hand around Duffy's neck and she says, don't approach me like that. And so he asks her a question. He's like, listen, you go around making everybody happy. Who makes you happy? And she looks at him funny, but baby, then he stands there and literally fingers her in her vajayjay in the middle of the club. So I guess at this moment, he's making her happy. Andre and Haley get to talking about this deal with the pink. And he asked her, did she ever consider about leasing the land instead of just selling it outright? And she says, if she leases the land, then she'd have to stay. So I think that's what Andre wants her to do, to lease the land and then she stays because he wants to continue a relationship with her. Tina Snow and Lil Murder perform. They look good performing. Roulette, Whisper, and Mississippi Keyshawn are up on the pole, honey. They are working it. The money is flowing. And the money's flowing. Mercedes is out on the floor with Maine, whatever his name is. And he asked her why she won on the pole. And she was like, she had a fear of falling. I can't remember whatever she said. He looked at Keyshawn. He was like, darn, she dancing like it's her last dance. And Mercedes says, well, it is. Baby. While they say all of that, Maine walks around and does whatever. And he ends up running up on one of Lil Murder's crew. And they go back and forth and back and forth, but baby, they get to tussling. Then somebody wants to get up on stage and they try to hit, or they hit Lil Murder, and they all went to tussling. Honey, Whisper and Roulette got off that pole like it wasn't nothing. But they started fighting around Keyshawn. So by the time she comes down in the pole, she is literally in the melee. And she's like kind of hovering her face, covering herself, because they up there just fighting and tussling. And who saves the day? Old Diamond. Diamond saves the day, and he whisks her into the back. And he was like, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And before he can say anything, baby, Keyshawn puts a good old kiss on Diamond. Diamond is shook. He's like, he's taking them kisses. But baby, who sees it? Who sees it? Remember I told you earlier. Big Bone be everywhere to see everything. And honey, she saw Keyshawn kiss Diamond, and baby, she saw red, green, blue, black, whatever color she could see that would signify that Big Bone was mad. Honey, she saw them colors. Whoo, child, she pissed off. So on the other side of the paint, Uncle Clifford is mad. He is going off on Lil Murder for all his nigga shit. That's what he called it. Lil Murder is mad. He's pacing and he's talking. And he's talking, "I'm going to put another one of they little niggas in the ground." And Uncle Clifford said, hold on. That day you came over to my house with all that blood, is that what I helped you cover it up? And Lil Murder was looking because he realized he was doing all that talking and he started breathing. He was like, "Nah, that's not what happened that day. I did this another time." He said, "But that's not what happened that day. That's not what happened that day. You didn't do that." So, Lil Murder don't give no details. He just kind of walks away from Uncle Clifford and he kicks something over. And then Uncle Clifford is mad and frustrated because this is the second time when Lil Murder performs. Some nigga shit go down. And he gets pissed off. Prior to that, Uncle Clifford is talking to Lil Murder like, "Listen, you got a lot of stuff going on. Let's see if we can get Diamond to be your security while you're on tour. So if something happens," and Lil Murder is like, "Nah, I'm going to be my own security from now on." He pissed off. And so that's when he hits this something in the back room. So then Uncle Clifford is frustrated. So he kicks a box. And what's in that box? That darn oxy. He runs into the back room office. He cusses out Big L and he fires him. He said, "Because I told you I didn't want to be a plug. I don't want this stuff going on here. I'm already having problems with this club and I don't want this kind of mess in here." And I don't blame him for firing Big L, because Big L disrespected him. I understand Big L want to make that extra money and stuff, because that was his whole design when he thought the Pink was closing, that he wanted to make some extra money. But he should respect the fact, because last season he was talking about how nobody would hire him but Clifford. And then Clifford tells you the one thing he don't want in his club, and then you put it in the club. You disrespectful. So yeah, you got to go. Baby, Andre and Haley make it back to the house, because you remember his godfather left Andre the house. They get back to the house, kissing and hugging, coming in the door. And guess who's sitting up in there acting like she butt hurt with the light cut, turned the lights on, talking about, she was looking real salty. Talking about, "Is this your campaign manager?" Baby, why are you not back in Atlanta doing fellatio on Dante, whatever that boy's name was, Pierre, Dante? Why are you not over there? Now you want to sit up in the house acting like you are butt hurt that Andre is kissing on Haley, which he shouldn't be. That's not my argument. My argument is you sat over there and cheated on your husband. Now you want to act all butt hurt because you see him come in with somebody. And maybe because, I don't know, I ain't going to say that because this ain't what this is. In the meantime, we get back to the Pink and Uncle Clifford gets a call about Miss Ernestine. But we don't know what's really going on with Miss Ernestine. They just kind of left that as like a cliffhanger. we pan over to Little Murder. He's in the boom boom room listening to his new music. And Mercedes comes in and asks him what he's listening to, and they get to talking back and forth. And Little Murder says how he respects, appreciates Mercedes and her dancing. She's the GOAT, yada, yada, yada. So he asks her if she wants to listen to some new music. Now, I'm going to stop right here because here is what my prediction is about that. I believe Lil Murder has talked about the killing of Pico in this song. And I believe Mercedes is going to hear it. And I believe Mercedes is going to go back and tell Maine that she heard a song by Lil Murder and it's going to talk about the same thing. Because let me continue to go forward. Because outside, Pico's girlfriend, pregnant girlfriend, is outside freaking out to Maine, talking about, you see how he disrespected us and talked about us and stuff like that. She said they found 30 slugs in Pico. So I believe that that song that Mercedes was listening to, I believe that that's very significant. I think that number of shots is very significant. I believe that Lil Murder is talking about him killing Pico in this song. And I believe Mercedes is going to be torn about whether or not to tell Maine or not. I believe she's going to talk to Uncle Clifford about it first. But I believe... Oh, let me clutch the pearls. Let me clutch my little pearls, child. I believe that Lil Murder is about to... He might mess around and get murked. Now, let's get to the end of this. You remember how I talked about earlier, how it seems like Big Bone has the ability to fall back in the cut and be in the background and nobody notices her? It's the same thing, because you remember on the side, you have Pico's girlfriend screaming and screaming and hollering at Maine about, y'all need to pop him, y'all need to pop Lil Murder because he disrespected us. He was throwing that gang stuff in our face and all this other stuff. Well, while that's going on, the camera pans over to Big Bone and she's sitting on her 3-wheeler and she's going through pictures. She's going through pictures of her and Diamond. And then she ends on the picture of where you see Diamond sleep. And she has Montrevious' ring on her hand. And in her hand in the picture. And then she hits the button to send. Who is she sending that to? Who is she sending that to? What is going on? Then we see Keyshawn get ready to leave. And then she writes on Mercedes' mirror that, we're sisters for life or something like that. Uncle Clifford sees her and tells her, don't you bring your pretty tail back here no more. She gives a hug and Keyshawn appears to leave. And then it says to be continued. So the season finale is about to get into, if the season finale is as much as it was this episode where I'm clutching my pearls and I'm almost out of 40 minutes to do this video. Oh my goodness. So are y'all watching P-Valley? Have you watched this last episode? What did y'all think about this last episode? My predictions for the next episode as follows. I believe Miss Ernestine is dead. I believe he's going to hire Big L back. I believe that Diamond somehow, some way is going... Because I don't think Keyshawn is going to get away scot-free. She's going to mess up and do something. I don't think she's going to get away with scot-free. And Diamond is going to help her. Whoever it is that Big Bone sent that picture to is about to come into town. Lil Murder. Mercedes is going to be torn because she doesn't know whether or not to tell Maine that she has heard Lil Murder rap about the death of Pico. And let's see. That is basically it. Those are the basics of my and I really don't care about Andre and his wife, but I think that she's gonna be trying to fight for Andre. That's all I can think of. So what do y'all think? Did y'all have to look? I know people clutch their invisible pearls, but I had to go find mine because I had to clutch them all through the episode. How did y'all feel about this episode? It was a lot of information thrown on us in 50-some minutes. But Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I want to thank all my people that commented on my last video that dealt with let me pull it up, child. I had great engagement on the video that talked about my P-Valley Extra Katori Speaks. I had a lot of engagement. Thank you all so much for engaging me on that. I enjoyed answering and talking with you all. You all had a lot of theories. I had one viewer pull up a Bible verse, and we went back and forth, and she kind of opened my eyes to some things too. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the engagement. And so if you have anything that you want to talk about, anything about this episode that excited you, pissed you off, whatever, please like it down in the comments, because I like to talk with you all in the comments and go back and forth with what you think your predictions are. Put your predictions down in the comment. Please share this video. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell after you subscribe. Please share this video. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Share it with your coworkers. Hell, share it with them folks you can't stand. Let them know that I am over here making these videos, okay? And as always, people, bye-bye.